With a very busy upcoming offseason for the Boston Bruins, names like Brandon Bussi, Gerogii Merkulov, and Fabian Lysell have been in talks of potentially cracking the roster next season for the Boston Bruins. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about what implications these guys will have on this team heading into the offseason and how they could impact the free agency approach from a Boston Bruins standpoint. But like I said, before we get into all of this news here, we noticed that 81% of you guys watching right now are not subscribed to the channel. If you're looking for a spot to get all of your Boston Bruins news, you're in the right spot. Make sure to hit the sub button. Join me here in this offseason as we cover such a huge amount of news, a very busy offseason from this team, and a lot of thinking to do from this team. And you're not going to want to miss what we have to offer here, as well as any news from this team. But like I said, let's get straight into it here first. I'm going to pull up a screenshot from Bruins Network on Twitter. It says, we're replying to a tweet, I should say, from which prospects are most likely to see come to the level of duty next season. What might their roles be? Could they potentially fill some of the holes that the team currently has and ones that they need to address? And Bruins Network had this to say. This is not any links to the actual Boston Bruins, just a very good source for Bruins news, inside stuff, and everything like that. They say, provided they haven't been traded, Fabian Lysell and Georgii Merkulov have come to mind first. Lysell, 21 years old, is a right-shot driver with a legitimate top-line talent and production to back it up. His all-world skating and vision in the NHL caliber, can he pull it together, though? Which is really the question that a lot of people are asking about Fabian Lysell is, will he be able to make it all work at once and keep his level of consistency at an NHL level, a top-line, top-six talent in the upcoming system? So I'm going to first pull up what we have to see here from, the contract side of things regarding the Boston Bruins. I'll pull this one up here. And as you can see, they have currently Jesper Boqvist, Jake DeBrusk, Stanton Heinen, Pat Maroon, Jason Megna, and James Van Riemsdyk. All as free agents, all but Jesper Boqvist as an RFA, or as UFA, sorry, and Jesper Boqvist is the only RFA. And there's going to be some holes that are going to need to be filled on the offensive side of things. And we know the Bruins have $21 million in a cap space here, and they're going to make some moves according to Don Sweeney, saying that that's their plan. They're going to be looking to, make a splash and stay busy in this offseason, this free agency, to make this team better, especially with a high amount of money, for the first time in a while for the Boston Bruins. However, they're not going to be able to get a full replacement of players from that money, which really leads and means that this team is going to have to go from the inside to be able to get some players to work out into this upcoming season, make them work, try and keep them at this NHL level for what would hopefully be and likely be, if they can stay healthy and whatnot, the full NHL season. So like this, little tweet here said, Georgii Merkulov, Fabian Lysell, two guys that really deserve to try to get a crack at the NHL and see how far they can make their talents work. And I will pull up here momentarily their stats and everything, just kind of a little breakdown, a little look at. But these two guys, really the top names right now. And there are going to be some more eventually, but like I said, as of right now, it is those two, the two guys that have taken this next level. They're taking this steps into making a potential NHL caliber lineup, and they certainly can. They've showed this season, as we start off with Fabian Lysell in this previous season, that they've really been able to show that they can keep up this level. So as you can see here with Fabian Lysell, very, very good stats this year. 50 points in 56 games played, 15 goals, 35 assists, with only one game played in the playoffs. But however, Fabian Lysell, like I said, really, really good player. As you've seen from Bruins Network, the little description they had there is a perfect example. He's a fantastic player and definitely deserves a crack at this lineup as a home, I guess you can say, rather than coming up and down. I think that's what we're going to see next season. I think we're going to see Fabian Lysell, at least out of training camp, out of the preseason, everything. I think we're going to see a lot of Fabian Lysell, see how he plays, see how he works in the lineup, and really be able to ease an opportunity for him rather than having to go out, spend a good bit of money on a player that can easily be in the top six for this team. So Fabian Lysell, like I said, a very exciting one, a very good one that I think we will see. Past two seasons in Providence have been very good. Still has a lot to prove, but that's going to be able to be proved with the better roster, with a Bruins roster, a Boston Bruins roster, that is, rather than a Providence Bruins one. But The same thing goes for Georgii Merkulov, who is a bit older, but also is a centerman, which is what the Bruins are going to be needing, in the upcoming season. They're going to be needing a lot more face-off talent. They're going to be needing some more face-off depth. What are they going to do with Pavel Zacha? There's many questions surrounding the center. They're going to be trying to look for that top line number one center. That's a given, I would think, from what we've been hearing, what we've been seeing from Don Sweeney, reporters such as Connor Ryan, for this Boston Bruins team. And Elias Lindholm is definitely going to be an option that I think we're going to see. Maybe a Steven Stamkos, maybe by some means a trade for Leon Draisaitl. But apart from that, that really shows how desperate this team is for a number one center. Georgii Merkulov is not going to be him. However, he's going to be a certain good addition to this team if he does end up making the Bruins roster. And as for him, 4 regular season games here, this most recent season, no points coming from that, +1, but where he shined was in the AHL, as well as the past 2 seasons. 55 points in 67 last season, 65 and 67 this season, with 3 points in 4 playoff games for Providence. So a great example of having that point production in the AHL, and another question of, will he be able to keep up a play in the NHL with a brand new team in being the Boston Bruins? I think he certainly could. And I think that you could start him off even on the third or fourth line, work his way up, and maybe even move Zacha center, the wing. There's so many options the Bruins could use right now with what they have from the inside that I think it's going to be, a lot of options for Georgii Merkulov where he could play, if he does end up in the NHL, to start off in the preseason or start off the regular season. But I think both of these guys really have some elite talent to show, some elite talent that needs to be proved to the Boston Bruins and to everybody, the fans. We know that they can be good. It's really just they need that one opportunity, and they will hopefully get to that point where we would like to see him as an everyday Boston Bruins player. But let's head on to our final player here. There's a bit of a different one as well. This is regarding Brandon Bussi and the whole goaltending situation that the Bruins have right now. We know that there's a lot of uncertainty about Linus Ullmark being traded or not, staying for the team this year on the final year of his $5 million deal, and Jeremy Swayman looking to get this new long-term, very expensive upcoming contract that he will be getting from just about everything we know. And this is what we have here right now regarding the contracts. Bussi and Swayman both RFAs, with Linus Ullmark being the only goalie currently on an NHL roster, as 3 of them are currently there. Brandon Bussi, I think, is going to be a fantastic goalie to add if Linus Ullmark is traded. I think that's the only opportunity we will see him due to injury, but we don't want to see any of that. That's hopefully we see no injuries at all next year for anybody on the team, let alone these goalies here. But Brandon Bussi is looking more and more to be a backup for Jeremy Swayman next year, as long as Linus Ullmark gets traded. That's really the big question mark about this, and likely what we're seeing could happen from the Devils, the Kings, the Senators, so many teams discussing a potential trade, trying to get involved in a deal for Ullmark. And from what I'm believing, what I'm hearing, what I'm thinking, what I'm feeling, I feel like something is going to go down here before the draft, at least, regarding a Linus Ullmark trade to try and get some picks, trying to get some improvement before the draft. And Linus Ullmark is going to be the guy. But Brandon Bussi really showed some potential this season here. I do apologize, this is very small, but in the playoffs here, 214 goals against the 922 save percentage, I believe that is even better than his regular season. The regular season, 267 goals against a 913 save percentage. Still very, very good, and even the season before has proved that he could be an elite goalie. And what we've seen from him in his preseason, as he made one in this most recent preseason, an incredible glove save, and really shows that he's comfortable, he's locked in, he's ready in every given opportunity, the interviews and everything. He's saying he's just waiting for his opportunity. He deserves an NHL roster spot, and from what I'm thinking, I really feel that he will be our backup next year, and is going to have some very big implications on whether or not Linus Ullmark gets traded, based on if he's going to be ready, instead of going out and acquiring a backup goalie in free agency via trade, whatnot. But I think the 3 of these guys could and will crack the roster next year and hopefully be permanent players. But let me know what you think. You got any more you might think of? What do you think about these 3 guys here? Obviously, a lot of stuff that's going to happen in this offseason for the Boston Bruins. Going to have a big impact on these guys' careers. I shouldn't say careers, but this next season for these guys, which could potentially have an impact on their career. But like I said, let me know what you think. A lot of exciting stuff coming from the Bruins team here in this offseason, so you won't want to miss it. Hit the sub button. I'll be keeping you up to date with everything that this team has to offer, and we're going to have a lot of fun here. So you're not going to want to make sure to miss it. Hit the sub button, hit the like button, but I'm signing out. Thank you for watching. Hope you have a great day. See you later.